I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars franchise seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also let's not forget about the fact that they are also developing live-action Star Wars TV shows, animated TV series, and even the new Star Wars trilogy of films by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the one thing about Disney Star Wars is that we do know that both Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, George Lucas, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, all these new creators, and of course all of these new people a part of Lucasfilm and everybody else involved in Star Wars, is that they're really trying to bring it in a different direction and in a better direction, where Kathleen Kennedy is no longer giving input on a creative level or having a lot of control or even creating creative differences between the actual creators. Now, when we look at everything related to Disney, this really is a big step for Jon Favreau, George Lucas, and Dave Filoni to all be working together as a team to really develop authentic Star Wars stories to deliver to the Star Wars fandom. And I think that's by far one of the most exciting aspects of the future, is that there's not going to be so much Kathleen Kennedy in these new Star Wars TV shows and movies. Now, with that being said, what's really exciting all has to do with, of course, creator Jon Favreau, alright? The man who actually wrote Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 1, Season 2, and is now working on Season 3 and beyond. And he's also going to be involved with other Star Wars TV shows, movies, and more. He has a lot of creative control now over at Lucasfilm and calling the shots on specific timelines and the entire mythology. Now, with that being said, what's really intriguing about all of this is that now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with the Skywalker saga, they are now focused on their new Star Wars trilogy of films, as well as their new Star Wars universe. It's explained that both Bob Iger and Bob Chapek are both working together as a team in order to create a better future for the Star Wars franchise moving forward. Now, it's noted that creators George Lucas, Dave Filoni, and Jon Favreau are all working together in order to create new authentic Star Wars stories, where it's explained that recently Jon Favreau just canceled a major Star Wars project that was in the works by Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy. This film was described to be another High Republic era Star Wars film that Kathleen Kennedy had planned to release midway through the decade to give fans a brand new timeline of Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy originally wanted Brie Larson to become a part of this new Star Wars movie spin-off film based in the High Republic era. However, it's described that recently Jon Favreau just canceled this new Star Wars film and had the authority to do so, since he, Dave Filoni, and George have more creative power now than Kathleen Kennedy, and that this is the early stage of Kathleen Kennedy's departure from Lucasfilm. Now, it's described that the new film would feature dinosaurs and no wars at all within this new Star Wars movie. So let's go over this, because in case you guys did not know, the High Republic era was first created by Kathleen Kennedy. It is now being reformed, whether it's going to be books, novels, comics, movies, and TV shows. It's all being tweaked and redone on some level, in some way, shape, or form, by Jon Favreau, Dave, and George, to really fix things that Kathleen Kennedy really destroyed within this new timeline. Now, they're going to still call it the High Republic era, but it's still one of the main reasons as to why a lot of the content was delayed either until next year or later this year, as far as the books go. As far as the TV shows and the movies go, Jon Favreau only wants to focus the High Republic being a part of television and not actual movies. So this is a very interesting change, and I think I know the reason as to why, Jon Favreau canceled that particular movie, is because they're redoing all of the books, at least for the most part. Not all of them, but for the most part they are. And in order to really base things off of the books accurately, you really can't just go ahead and rush things, too fast. Now, when we look at Jon Favreau, he knows what he's doing. This is a man that's very passionate when it comes to Star Wars. He loves Star Wars Legends. He loves everything that George Lucas created. And even Bob Iger talked about this not so long ago, is that, well, Bob Iger even said at the Rise of Skywalker premiere that Jon Favreau, alright, think about this, Jon Favreau is the new George Lucas. He sees a lot of George Lucas within him. And that, to me, is just a really good thing. I mean, I think that Bob Iger saw it, obviously. We see it. A lot of the actors, a part of The Mandalorian, see it as well. and it's one of the main reasons as to why The Mandalorian has that George Lucas-esque feel to it, is because Jon Favreau knows what Star Wars is. He knows exactly what the philosophy of Star Wars is, what the tone should feel like, what the pacing should feel like, and the overall idea of the story and how important it really is. So like I've said, I mean, I think that Jon Favreau really knows what he's talking about. I'm not saying that Dave Filoni is better than Jon or Jon's better than Dave. I think that they have their own strengths and weaknesses, but equally very, very good when handling Star Wars. So with that being said, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.